In the last video, I showed you how entropy creates the arrow of time, how the universe moves from order to disorder, and that movement is what we experience as time flowing forward. But then, I left you with a question. If the universe started in extremely low entropy at the Big Bang, almost perfectly ordered, almost like nothing, how did everything come from that? How do you get something from nothing? Today, I'm going to show you something that sounds impossible. 0 equals infinity. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean in a very real physical sense. The beginning of the universe and the end of the universe might be the same thing. Let's start with what we know about the universe's entropy. At the Big Bang, roughly 13.8 billion years ago, the universe was in an extremely low entropy state. Everything was compressed into an infinitesimally small point. No differentiation, no complexity, no structure, just pure, undifferentiated potential. No change was occurring. You can't have change in a singularity. There's nothing to change from one state to another. Time itself might not have existed yet, or at least time as we understand it. Now jump to the far future. Physicists predict that if the universe continues expanding, it will eventually reach what's called heat death. This is maximum entropy. Everything spreads out uniformly. All stars burn out. All energy gradients disappear. Everything reaches the same temperature. At that point, no change can occur. There's no concentrated energy anywhere to power processes. No work can be done. Nothing can happen. Here's what's strange. Both endpoints are changeless. At the Big Bang, zero entropy, no change. At heat death, maximum entropy, no change. In both states, time becomes meaningless. Because remember from the last video, time requires change. Without change, there's no way to measure time. There's no before and after. So at the beginning of time, time doesn't exist. At the end of time, time doesn't exist. The starting point and the ending point are both timeless, changeless, eternal. If you experienced either state, they would feel identical, nothing happening, forever. Or rather, not forever, because forever implies time and there is no time. Zero and infinity collapse into each other. There's another way physics suggests that everything might equal nothing. Some scientists propose that the total energy of the universe is exactly zero. Here's how that works. When you look around, you see stuff matter, stars, galaxies. That's all positive energy. But there's also gravity, and gravity represents negative energy. It's a binding force pulling things together. When you do the math, it turns out that all the positive energy in the universe, matter, radiation, everything, might be exactly balanced by all the negative energy from gravity. Add them up, and you get zero. The universe is a net zero system. Everything we see, all the stars and galaxies and planets and people, all of it might add up to nothing. We're not something that came from nothing. We're nothing that temporarily looks like something. Think about that. The entire universe, with all its complexity and beauty and vastness, might be mathematically equivalent to empty space. It's a void, a big zero. Lawrence Krauss, Stephen Hawking, and other physicists have explored this idea seriously. The universe could literally be a free lunch, as they say. It costs nothing to create because its total value is nothing. And here's something even stranger. The mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan discovered something that seems completely impossible. If you add all positive integers, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, going on forever, what do you get? Obviously infinity, right? Wrong. Using a mathematical technique that's now essential to quantum physics, Ramanujan showed that the sum equals negative 1/12th. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus equals negative 1/12th. Let that sink in. The sum of all positive numbers equals a tiny negative fraction, almost zero. Now, I'm not going to explain the math here. It involves something called the Riemann zeta function and analytical continuation. There are a ton of videos out there who have dived deep into this. But here's what matters. This result is used in real physics. It's how we calculate the Casimir effect. a measurable force between metal plates in a vacuum. It's built into string theory. Infinity, when you calculate it properly, using the methods that describe reality, collapses to almost nothing. Even pure mathematics is telling us infinity and zero are connected in ways that break our intuition. Ramanujan saw this. And how did Ramanujan come up with this theory? He claimed his mathematical insights came to him in dreams from his family goddess Namagiri. Now hold on to that. We might just explore more on it in the next video. So then, what's happening here? Mathematically, 0 and infinity are different. Obviously, I'm not claiming they're the same number on a number line. But experientially, phenomenologically, they're identical in certain crucial ways. Think about 0. No differentiation, no multiplicity, no parts, no change, timeless. Now think about infinity. If you had infinite diversity, infinite multiplicity, every possible thing existing simultaneously with no boundaries, what would that look like? Everything would blend into everything else. There would be no distinctions because everything is present at once. No change would be possible because you are already everything. Timeless. Both represent states where distinctions collapse. In 0, there are no distinctions because there's nothing to distinguish. In infinity, there are no distinctions because everything is present simultaneously. This insight shows up across esoteric traditions. In Advait Vedant, the ultimate reality is called Nirgun Brahman. Nirgun means without qualities, no attributes, no divisions, no differentiation. This is the ground of all existence, and it's described as both nothing, no thing, no qualities, and everything, containing all potential, all possibility. In Buddhism, there's the concept of shunyata, often translated as emptiness or voidness. But shunyata doesn't mean non existence, it means empty of inherent independent existence. Things don't have fixed, separate natures, and because reality is empty of fixed nature, it contains infinite potential. It can become anything. Emptiness is fullness. The void is pregnant with all possibilities. This isn't some poetic fluff. It's describing the same thing physics is showing us, that 0 and infinity are two ways of looking at the same reality. So, what does this mean for reality? If the universe started from 0 entropy and will end in maximum entropy, and both states are changeless and timeless, if the total energy of the universe is 0, if even mathematics shows that infinity collapses to almost 0, then maybe the universe isn't a thing that exists. Maybe it's a pattern, a temporary configuration, a wave in an ocean that never stopped being ocean. Let me give you a better picture of this. Imagine a perfectly still pond. The water is completely flat, no ripples, no movement. That's 0. Now a stone drops in. Ripples spread outward. They create complex patterns. Waves interfere with each other. Some spots have high peaks, other spots have low troughs. Beautiful, intricate structure emerges. That's the universe, all the complexity, all the stars and galaxies and planets and life, the entire manifest cosmos. But here's the question, what are those ripples made of? Water. The same water that was there when the pond was still. Nothing was added. The ripples are just the water moving, vibrating, creating temporary patterns. When the ripples fade and the pond becomes still again, where did they go? Nowhere. They were always just water. They returned to being still water. The universe might be exactly like this. The Big Bang didn't create something from nothing. It created the appearance of something from the 0 state that was always there. That 0 became excited, started vibrating, creating the illusion of multiplicity, of separate things, of a universe full of objects. But it never stopped being 0. It's still 0 right now. Just 0 that looks like infinity. Everything you see, everything you touch, including yourself, is nothing. Nothing that temporarily thinks it's something. The wave never stopped being water. Why does this matter? Because if reality emerges from zero and returns to zero, then things don't have the solid independent existence we assume they do. Look at a chair. It seems solid and real, but it's made of atoms. When you sit on a chair, are you really in contact with that chair though? Atoms are mostly empty space, electrons orbiting a nucleus with vast distances between them. The subatomic particles themselves are just vibrations in quantum fields. Those quantum fields emerge from the quantum vacuum, and the vacuum might be equivalent to nothing, or at least to zero energy. Trace anything back far enough, and you find zero. But that zero contains the chair, contains all possible chairs, contains everything. The manifest universe, everything you can see and touch and measure, might be the way zero experiences itself. The way nothing knows it's nothing by pretending to be something. Multiplicity is unity looking at itself from countless perspectives. Infinity is zero that forgot what it was. In math class, you learned that zero and infinity are opposites, opposite ends of the number line. But in the actual structure of reality, they might be the same thing, the smallest and the largest, the beginning and the end, nothing and everything. But here's the question that kept me up at night after realizing this. If the universe is zero pretending to be infinity, if you and I are patterns in nothing, then what is consciousness? What is the thing that's experiencing all of this? In the next video, we'll see why zero entropy might be the nature of consciousness itself, why you might be the unchanging zero witnessing the changing infinity, why ancient philosophy called this Brahman, and why you never left it. So make sure you subscribe to stay updated. Thanks for your time. See you again when entropy has gone up slightly.